have guys who are manipulating the system. Myself, the police force is rotten. And then the only thing I saw is the crocodile tears because it was one of their own. It was one of the law enforcement officers. And when your police force has their instruments or their people in the police force who don't even have the wherewithal to realize that is not something I'm doing, but it tells you that the institution has problems. And I will continue to advocate unless Lincoln Cobbett is removed from the police force. The police force of Dominica cannot be trusted. The institution cannot be trusted when it does not have internal regulation. The institution cannot be trusted when the head is rotten, Martelti. And as far as I'm concerned, unless this guy stays there, unless Blackmore vacates the office, what has to change in Dominica when it comes to law enforcement? These are the same guys who when the minister said go put back a red bench, put their tail in their backside and was yielding to guys who are sitting on the street doing absolutely nothing. Myself, nothing I have said there is what I made up. These are everybody's sister. But what we don't do is we don't connect the dots. We just isolate situations. The 16-year-old was missing. She was found. Thank God she was found. But there. The problem is there is a discipline issue in the police force. The police force lacks proper discipline and example.
Okay.
And that changes the crime situation, Dominica Martelti will not improve. You have a good morning.
Have a good morning, too. Have a good morning there. So there's a lack of trust. I see there of some people of the police. Is it justified? It's a fair comment, huh? 4493095. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Hello, are you there, caller, yes?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Arthur, good morning to you, sir, and your listeners.
Morning to you, Lofty. Morning to you, yes.
All right. But I am then listening to your discussion, and I want to compliment all the callers who called so far in terms of their utterances. The police, the commoners of Dominica Police Force, Dominica, and as it relates to that body meting out justice to the citizens of Dominica. Where do I start? But last week at the press conference, and first and foremost, of the bat, let me compliment, as it were, the same police officers, or the same police force rather, who did what they did and continue to do in terms of the investigation that is, as it relates to that young Jebaiah Paul death. So I want to compliment them on that note. But I am prepared to say this morning, in the police force, it has what you call selective investigation.
You say selective, okay.
Let me tell you why I say that. Over and over again, you have been hearing the high command of the force boast about the professionalism and also the high-skilled investigators that they have in the police force, especially in the criminal department, the CID department. And I am asking this morning, Mafia Spelty, why, after all that boast and brag, that the case of Mehul Choksi cannot be properly investigated by the scene. And I will not go down into any long story, Matt, but we, the Dominican public, based on the expose that case has gotten already in Dominica and out of Dominica, we well know why that these top-notch cops, in terms of their investigative skills, will dare not touch that case of Meho Chokshi, brought to Dominica against his will, he said, and he was tortured, held in Dominica's cells, and was about to be put on a plane that was waiting at Melville Hall and be whisked out of Dominica without the knowledge of the Dominican people. And so I am saying, the investigators who are in that police force, they cannot touch that case, because those persons who have to give the command or give the order to start that investigation or to continue that investigation, they are the same ones, it is alleged, that is implicated in that matter in one way, shape, or form. So I am prepared to say, until this government is removed and the police force gets cleaned up, as it was from the top down, that case will not be properly investigated. That is number one. Matthias Peltier, number two, we have this very sorry case of Kenisha Etienne, whereby this young child, 12 years old then, disappeared from Dominica. And by all stretch of the imagination, some shenanigans went on there. Some of the same top cops who were at the press conference last week, they were some of the same top cops, it is alleged, that basically was handling the Kenisha Etienne's case and made a mess out of it. And as a result of the covering up of their mess, that case was not properly investigated. Matt, the last person who saw and who was in contact with Jobia Paul, it is said as per the police, was one of theirs. And look, now they have a second being charged today. So the last person with a disappearance or with a murder or with a killing, a homicide, whatever it is, it's always a person of interest. And so, Matt, I am asking the police why the last person who was in contact with Kenisha, or the last people who were in contact with Kenisha, was not picked up and investigated properly. And so an outcome, we would have an outcome today as it pertains to Kenisha's disappearance. But I am saying to you this morning, unless and until some of the police, I'm not putting a broad brush this morning, because I know there are some good police officers who mean well, but because they have to be subjected to some of the police officers themselves who are tainted and who have to give them orders, obviously, where I started in terms of the selective justice, the selective investigation, that is where the problem is. And so I am saying, Matthias Peltier, we the Dominican people, we are watching and we know what is going on. Do you know, Matthias Peltier, in the police force that we're speaking about this morning, the level of victimization that goes on there in that force?
Yeah, I'm aware.
But it is a common practice in the police force, a common practice. Ask any police officer that they would sort of salute their commander or their one in charge when they see them in the force or passing on the street. Do your own investigation, Matthias Peltier. And just that little situation as it pertains to a common practice, how that is being meted out in the force. And it speaks to you, it speaks to the public now about the mess in which the police force is. And I am saying, Mr. Minister of National Security was there last week on the press conference, or in the press conference. And again, just a reminder, we well remember the baby Sarah saga. And so, Matt, when you have men like that representing law and order at the highest level, don't expect anything in terms of what I said before, the selective investigations that goes on. And so I'm calling on the Dominican public now. We, the Dominican people, if we want better, we are supposed to be prepared to do better. And one of the ways we can do better is by getting rid of the cancerous Labour Party that facilitates, aids, help in terms of the malpractices that goes on where law and order is concerned. So the power now will be in our hands very soon. And we have to step up to the plate to ensure that the Dominican Labour Party, the cancerous one that is no more, so that at least we can get men of caliber, of a certain caliber, to head that police force and other institutions so that Dominica, our beloved country, could get back on track where it once was. Thank you.
All right, Dominic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Lofty, as it relates to this baby Sarah, I hear people repeating it over and over again. I think that was dealt with, And you can speak to the attorney closest to you, and he'll tell you what's going on. I said that last week, I'll say it again, based on information there, as it relates to this baby Sarah issue. So I hope, though, I don't hear it being said over and over again. Based on my investigations, talking to the attorney, so I hope I'm just of that young lady. So we will not repeat it again. The lady is barren. In other words, she can't make children. So this baby Sarah story should not be existing, huh? Thank you very much. Let's put it to rest. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, 449-309-596 and 97, okay? Hello, talk to me, yeah?
Good morning,
morning to you, yes. Good morning to you.
And good morning to your listeners. I hope you had a very good weekend.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, thank you. I want to continue from where I left last week while I was talking to you, and you had to join one of your sponsors in reference to Jubaya.
Yes,
and that 72 hours. I don't think the commissioner dealt with it sufficiently well. He answered, he was very good when he said there's no 72-hour period before you start a search. But there's some confusion in the minds of the listeners. And that 72-hour window has to do with when somebody is reported missing to the time you expect them to, you are expected to find the person alive or to find a body. So that's where that 72 hours confusion is in the minds of the public. And even in the terms of a natural disaster, but you hear about search and rescue. There's also a period when they move from search and rescue to search and recovery, meaning that they do not expect to find anybody alive. Now, I want to compliment the policemen for a job well done. I can understand what it is or how it is, Matt, that you are investigating a serious crime and only to find the perpetrator is one of your own. I can understand how it is. So, however, I heard the commissioner said that no stones will be left unturned. And I hope that no stone is left unturned, not only for that case, but the other cases, like the callers before me talk about Choksi. Yes, we have to reopen investigation into the Choksi matter because I understand there were some high-ranking police officers involved. So stones shouldn't be left unturned because it's constables, and when high-ranking officers are involved, they turn a blind eye. So they need to reopen the Choksi matter. They need to reopen Gun Emmanuel matter also, Matt, because the Dominican public are waiting for justice for Gun Emmanuel. So, as one of your callers said, the police force is rotten. There are some, not everyone, there are some rotten eggs within the ranks of the police force. and you got to clean them up. The police force need a cleaning. But well said, Lofty, that will never happen as long as this corrupt Labour Party is in office. So what we need to do is to vote out the Labour Party. Anytime we get the chance, vote out the Labour Party so we can clean up the police force, bring back integrity into the police force, where people, Dominicans, can have confidence in the police force. You hear how Blessing's talking about? It's because Blessing have no confidence in the police force. Why are you talking like that? He said he doesn't even believe anything they say. And that is how it is with the police force. So I hope that Dominicans are ready to give Dominica a new life, our country, by removing that Labour Party in office. Good morning, Martin. Thank you.
You know, the last time a commission of inquiry was held in the police force, I remember it because of my reporting at the time at Mapping TV. Yes, Mr. Edison James was in charge, and I got a lot of reports from persons from inside. At the time, we were playing the reports on a daily basis, and as a result, there was a commission of inquiry because of some of the allegations that were made. That was in the 90s, you know. That's many years ago. So I'm hoping sometime, because of all the reports of mistrust in the police, another commission of inquiry can be launched sometime. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Hi. I'm probably going to get a little angry. I appreciate the fact that we are concerned that our institutions should function as they are designed to function. The police force, the electoral commission, whatever it is, all the institutions ought to perform as they are designed to function. But what bothers me, though, is that we don't seem to want to be concerned as a people that the nation is not functioning as it should. Since 1978, the Constitution has continued to say that there shall be a parliamentary commissioner, and nobody is concerned that we have never appointed one. If the country isn't functioning as it should, why would we be surprised that the institutions created by the country's constitution are not functioning as they should? Yes, we should be concerned about our institution, but I am not hearing anybody concerned about the fact that we're the only nation in the world that are unique in that respect. We're the only nation that has never fully implemented the constitution. That is what bothers me this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's take a break and we'll come back, Dominique. Apparently, there's so many things to talk about, huh? Let's do this and come back.
This is our 24th Global View on Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica. I'm Sheridan Gregoire, Mr. G. With me is my co-host, Justice Dr. Irving Andre, prominent agronomist and environmental advocate Atherton Martin, Sister Nats, Tony Edwards, and prolific Dominican businessman Herbert Suki Winston. We will continue to discuss the essential ingredients for local business success in Dominica towards building a prosperous nation. So here are a few talking points or questions that I will put to my panelists. How important is the example of our leaders in the lives of our young people? What satisfaction do you derive from working to achieve your goals? Is there anyone who inspired you to achieve your goals? Should government assist local businesses to become successful? If the answer is yes, then how should they assist? Are our schools doing enough to nurture students? What are Dominica's prospects for the future? What are the essential ingredients for business success? Have these ingredients been eroded? Do our local entrepreneurs receive sufficient support from the government of Dominica? Is our education system doing enough to nurture productive, hardworking citizens? Is the government playing its part in teaching young people to become productive men and women in Dominica? What role must their parents play to ensure that their children depend on the sweat of their brow to be successful? And what lessons can be taught to the young men and women of today and tomorrow? We look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, prominent agronomist and environmental advocate Arthur Tanathi Martin, Sister Nats, Tony Edwards, and prolific Dominican businessman Herbert Suki Winston to this topic, the essential ingredients for local business success in Dominica towards building a prosperous nation. Tune in Tuesday night for more on the Global View on Q, only on Q95, the big station, because you know it's true if you hear it on Q.
$50,000 in prizes with over 390 chances to win. Enjoy daily and weekly rewards, including scholarship packages, tablet bundle, handset bundle, power bundle, and so much more. It's easy. Simply pay your bill in full and on time. Activate any 3-day plan or higher. Bundle your postpaid plan with Digi Duo or sign up for Digicel Home Internet. The more you activate, the more chances you have to win. Visit your nearest Digicel store or speak to a Digicel representative today. Terms and conditions apply. Connect, pay, win.
What is summer is digital anyway. In a summer mood. A fresh market. When money don't count and your pocket doesn't hurt you. A fresh market. Fresh market.
We are open 7 days a week with the top of the line products. Well stocked supermarket and pharmacy, health and beauty care, fresh produce and meat prepared daily, hot and cold kitchen, ready to go meals, sandwiches, salads, and desserts at your fingertips. Easy access, located on the bayfront, environment friendly, and our staff are approachable and ready to assist. Have you figured out who we are? You got it. Fresh your one stop.
Fresh market.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. Due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC is giving us some trouble. Sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on.
We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CJ United Insurance. Good like that.
All you, I just meet Goldwyn in Roseau again. Same place outside Flossie's. I tried to dock in, but you had time see me. Well, story start again. Million, lot of my father with us, huh? Salcafella, I say the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossie's, and you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I busy. It's to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket, boy. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Well, when you're still telling me, I know already. To pack a spetting more. But it can him up here for Palais. I will tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Flossie's. Right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Flossie's can't do it to you.
If you know quality, then you must know the manufacturers of Dominica's finest rums. Belfast Estate Limited, over 80 years leading the industry with exceptional standards and formidable customer service. We present the manufacturers of BB Rum, Soca Rum, Red Cap Rum, Cask Rum, and the signature Belfast Estate Rum Punch. With island-wide distribution daily, Belfast Estate Limited has cemented its mark as the distributor of choice for products like Eldorado range of rums and creams, Kubali Bear, Corona Bear, Guinness, Root Boy drink, and of course, Sunblast juices, Topper Snacks, Vitamalt, and Pine Hill juices. Call the office at 440-7032 or visit the distribution outlet at Jimmy Dominica. Follow on Facebook or Instagram at Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate Limited, your leading manufacturer and distributor of rums in Dominica.
Make back to school easy.
All right, Dominica, we're back. On the telephone, good morning to you, yes.
Mato, Nurse Dairam,
Hi, nurse, how are you?
Matt, I would like to find out who killed Wayne Dairampo. Papa, maybe that.
You see, nurse, something is going on with your telephone. This has been happening for so long. I guess I'm really surprised that Flo has not been able to deal with that issue of Nurse Dairampo there. Come on. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there, caller? Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Peltier. Mr. Peltier, I will not be calling back because I do not want Blackmore to get whether it was hypocritical or pretentious or emotional to shed any tears. The fellow tells me, you don't see Blackmore wanted to show people his gold band and his two rings on his hand. I say a rich man like that will come and try gold band. I mean, Blackmore maybe it's Hollywood, everybody acting. So I don't call him back, Matt. That's my final call for the morning. The afternoon, I'll talk to you. Matt, I want you, Carlisle or Lofty, or anybody that is that, technologically savvy to go and get original press conference, not a press campaign, Matt, and play at least 10 or 15 minutes of it, having to do with the police engaging the media and the public. And Matt, I would just want people to see, the listeners, most of us, we don't listen, Scary with their watching cartoon with boxers and we're scratching our walls. Walls is a matter of footballs or something like that. Anyway, we all of them giving people. And play it for people to... There was a Trinidadian guy, Matt. He was, in some kind of high crimes. Matt, if you see the boy security detail, his wicked weapons on the boy is well protected and his boy agrees crimes they're fighting. Matt, to see the man engagement with the public, the boy is as cool as a cucumber or watermelon, one of them. So I am just saying, Matt, from Skerrit, the Prime Minister, to Blackmore, to Corbett, and to come and treat the media like the children. No, Matt, that nonsense must stop. Very argumentative, confrontational, and combative, Matt. These guys, you must stop speculating, Blackmore. All the Dominicans about Roro and death. I like Maho Roro, but I don't like death. And that foolishness and clapping. What were they celebrating, Matt? At the discovery of a decomposing 16-year-old child. And Matt, I myself, I was saying, Dominica, finish. Dominica, Matt, all you that think dictators just remaining like Skerrit. Matt, there's a progression based on the duration of the reign. They get more paranoid, more brutal, more criminal, more corrupt. Lofty talking about the corruption in the police force. I know there are darlings in the police force. I know. But Matt, it have some men that are willing to do anything to maintain the reign of these criminals over Dominica. So I want to give thanks for your effort, Carlisle, Lofty, and everybody else, the twins, all the media people that are trying to see if they could unearth, excavate, or exhume some dirty skeletals or dead bodies that are buried wherever in that country. And these guys vex. You think that Mehul Chops is not back in India custody now?
No, he's in Belgium. I said that this morning.
Oh, I did not hear that. Sorry. So that matter, that would be interesting if there could be some retroactive investigation to bring closure to that matter. Do you think it will be facilitated by these people? Do you think they'll get FBI, Scotland Yard? Forget about what's the name, Matt, the Regional Security Service or Skerrit, whatever it is, I don't know. So, Matt, I'm just saying Dominica becomes a big joke. I want to give thanks to Greg and Nassif. One guy tell me, Gregor Nassif and why is the Jolly fella name like Anderson Jolly are my idols. I check in, but what kind of nonsense is that? Now, so everybody, I lend a bit. Oh, Matt, you're my idol too? Well, Matt, I need to know more about that. So I'm just saying, Matt, please, Carlisle, Lofty, or anybody that is that technologically savvy, get a press conference. Play at least 10 to 15 minutes of it pertaining to do with police investigating or solving crime and the engagement with the media and the public and see the difference, the level of respect, the level of composure, rather than black people going there, speculating, but Matt caution. I don't call him back, Matt. Trust me before Black Novex.
All right, caller, thank you very much on the telephone. Yes, it's 9:24. Is it? No, 9:19. 9:19 is the morning time. Let's listen to this voice now. Sorry about that.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
I'm listening this morning and I'm hearing many things. But I just want to say, I don't have much to say, but I just want to say that, when all else fails, there is a higher power. Some people believe in God, some people believe in Yahweh, some people believe in Jesus Christ, some people believe in the universe. But whatever it is, because I believe that the universe spins around, that at the end of the day, when all is said and done, and everything seems to be falling apart, that there is a higher power that comes through. Yeah, people may take much credit for what is going on right now, but I do believe that there is a higher power. And Matt, I just want to remind Dominicans that the only way we're going to get a better Dominica is to change the way things are right now. I have a lot more to say, but I will keep it like that for now. You cannot continue to steal elections. You cannot continue to manipulate people's choices of who they want to govern them. Change creates systems that oftentimes improve people's lives. We've had a system in place for a very long time that has continued to fail and fail and fail and will continue to fail the people. Because what we see, whether it's Jabia, whether it's Kanisha, whether it's so many young men in the town of Portsmouth who have killed themselves, who have killed each other. The system is very, 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 very broken, Matt. I have not heard a representative from the town of Portsmouth come on air and condemn what has happened. Even when the young men were killing each other, something that I called the radio station on multiple times to speak about. The only time that these people spoke publicly was when they wanted people to calm down for more fit. We say in Portsmouth we have a parliamentary representative. Yes, maybe they've gone privately to the family members, but it's not only the family members who are hurting, Matt. The entire country is hurting. And as people or someone elected to represent the people, that is something that I would have expected. After 3 weeks, some letter, some word, something on the radio to give some type of comfort and let them know that they're not alone. Yes, people might say, oh, she came to us privately. They came to us privately, but this is beyond private. An entire country is hurting, Matt. An entire country of people, whether they are in Dominica, whether they are out of Dominica, the entire country is hurting. And so, Matt, this morning, all I want to say is the whole system is broken. The entire system is broken. And I just want to say thank you, Lord, for intervening, because it was your intervention, God, that made that finding Jabia's body possible. And I will stop here. So all those who want to take credit, there is so much more and it goes so much deeper than many people No. But for now, I want to say thank God for letting small miracles happen to shed light on a very, very, very horrible, systematic problem we have in the Commonwealth of Dominica. And the only way we're going to fix that, I don't care what anybody says to me, is to change what currently exists as governance. They have failed on every single level, the people of Dominica. Have a good day. Thank you.
It is the selective behavior of the police force in dispensing justice and fairness that has caused we, the public, not to trust them. Not blame Blessings or anyone else lacking trust in the police force. They need to reopen the investigation of the 9 gunshots to Trendsetter's car in Jimmet in January 2025. So as the person was indicating again, it's just selective justice, huh? You investigate what you want to investigate, huh? Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, Matt. Good morning.
Morning.
Among all the negatives that are happening, the sad news and whatever, Matt, there was some good news I read about yesterday. I want to share it with the public. Maybe most of them know about it. A Dominican was reported missing. He was about delivering a catamaran from Tortola to St. Martin to the owner. And as he said, he encountered problem with the steering, so he couldn't steer the boat. He had to use some emergency something, and he was recovered by the American Coast Guard, and the boat was towed safely to St. Martin. And as he himself said, he's now safe with his family. So I mean, all the bad news, there is some good news, and I just wanted to share with your listeners.
Thank you. 449-3095-96 and 97. Hello, yes. Good morning. Good morning. Nobody there on the overseas line. I'm so sorry. Let's move on. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you.
Matt, I noticed that Lofty broadened the discussion a little bit, and just to show you how things are, I want to give an example which is not related to the police. We had 2 Kalinago females put forward for the presidency, and the party in power was boasting about first Kalinago president, first female president. They were bragging about it. So the opposition put forward another female, another Kalinago, and of course the prime minister controls the house. It's expected. The prime minister's candidate that he put forward won the seat and became the president. Right after, instead of offering some congratulatory remarks, some mild remarks to sort of bring everybody, to unite everybody under this new president, the Attorney General calls the female Kalinago, who happened to be put forward by the opposition, refers to her in a demeanoring way. And there was an uproar.
No, I'm asking you, can you try to make that connection with the
Yes,
analogy?
I'm making it right now.
Please.
I'm making it right now. Mr. Skerritt said that Attorney General was going nowhere. He kept him there. What does that tell you, Matt? I'll leave it to the public to decide. Thank you.
Yeah, still trying to make that connection there. Hello, talk to me, 926. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Good morning, Matt. Danny Luge.
Hey, Danny, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Well, I said I must touch base with you today.
I know.
It's a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day in Dominica, Matt.
You're very worried about the reports I see going around.
Well, Matt, there's so many issues, but one message I want to leave with the people of Rosenhof. Despite all the machinations, despite all the double and triple registration, despite all the illegalities, we're going out to vote with a vengeance in Rosenhof. I'm calling on people to find themselves at the confirmation centers and go and do what your civic duty. Don't be discouraged in any way. Matt, since it's 8 months going on 9 months, I've applied for confirmation. On the receipt that I got from the confirmation office, it has my polling station number N03. On the cards that they're issuing, people will not know which is their polling stations. I'm very concerned. You know why? In 2019, I had several people come into my home and tell me they cannot find their polling station. I've been to the electoral office on multiple occasions asking where are the polling stations of Rosenhof, because sometimes they move them around. For example, in Mont Daniel, there was a new polling station there, and also at the stadium in Stock Farm. So I'm saying the same way they were wise enough to put NOC on the receipt that I got when I applied for confirmation. Why isn't that NO3 on the voter ID cards so people can know where they have to go to vote? It was very disappointing for me to learn from the electoral office that they cannot tell me where are the polling stations in Rosenhof, and you have a pending by-election. I will go back there this week to find out if they can now tell me where are the polling stations. But this is not to discourage people of Rosenhof. I am telling you that we're going out with a vengeance. It doesn't matter if it takes us a whole day to find out where our polling stations are. We will go out and vote. We must vote with a vengeance for 26 years of neglect of Rosenhof. 26 years we have been under the gun. And I am saying that we in Rosenhof, it doesn't matter what it takes, we'll be determined with every fiber in our body to vote this time around. This is not 2022. So I'm calling on the people of Rosenhof, don't be discouraged or deterred in any way. I am telling you, even I, Danny Luge, as the former PAL rep, do not have his voter ID cards. There are several people who have not gotten their cards, nor is it indicated on the doors of where they're giving out the cards when cards will be ready for several polling stations in Rosenhof. But you are able to vote with your passport. Standalone, you'll be able to vote with your driver's license and a birth certificate. You will be able to vote with a social security card and a birth certificate. And today, some of my people will be on the ground in Fokole to help out the people of Fokole to ensure they have the requisite documents so that they will be able to vote. So despite all the machinations, I am telling the people of Rosenhof, let us go out and vote with a vengeance for all what they did us after Hurricane Maria could not get assistance, right? We will be voting out this government in Rosenhof, which will be the beginning of the end for Roosevelt Ferry. So don't be deterred in any way. I am not discouraged. We're going for a big victory in Rosenhof come September 7th. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Danny. It's 9:32 in the morning. There are many phone calls coming at this time. Let's see if we can get a few more voice notes in there before we wrap it up at the 11 o'clock hour. Yes, good morning.
Morning, Matt. What's up, my brother? How is everything? I could hear your voice. I could hear everything good with you. And I just want to tell you, Matt, thank you for what you're doing, Matt. Everyone, as you said, you're the milk in the coffee, but I believe you're the milk. Not you're the coffee, not the milk. They're the milk and you're the coffee. First thing they have to pour is you, and then look for the milk to put in. That's how good you are, Matt. You wake them up, Matt. But anyway, Matt, yes, Matt, talking about swiftly of Mr. Blackmore and, beating his chest like Godzilla. Oh, he got a job well done and everything. He and Lincoln Cobbett and all of them. Matt, what have we heard about the fire at Jolly's, Matt? Any word on that, Matt? I think it's long overdue. Matt, what have we heard about the grammar school, Matt? Millions of dollars spent go down the drain, Matt. We have not heard nothing, Matt. And the list go on and on and on, Matt. That when Mr. Blackmore come and did his chest on his work and what they're doing, Matt, they will only do what they want to do for the public, where the public will give them credit so that they can, I think, get votes and support. But when you have to look at the Jollies, Matt, how many people go out of work and everything, Matt, the loss and everything, Matt, all this supposed to take into consideration. The grammar school building, all this supposed to come into consultation and looked at, Matt. It's not just looked at, certain things and leave the others. That's why, as Clem alluded, that what percentage you're going to get when you want to beat your chest and come out and give your press conference, so long and a little bit boring, at the end of the day, it turned out to be boring. I think you should take a page of people in the US, when they are coming to talk about homicide and stuff like that, the way they do it, swift, and, you want to give Prime Minister praise for getting this and getting that. What's that? What's that? Just now give him praise for four vehicles he get for the police force. Anyway, Matt, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 449-3095-96 and 97. Let's do this, and then we'll come back right here.
KFC. KFC. Looking for some place to go. Meals for soul. KFC. Grab your family and your friends. Join in the experience. KFC. It's the place to be. Made for you and me. KFC. KFC. It's finger licking good.
Make back to school easy with a Quartz Ready Cash loan. Get up to $20,000 for all your back to school expenses. Cover tuition, school fees, books, uniforms, and school supplies. Plus, one lucky winner will win $2,000 cash when they take a Quartz Ready Cash back to school loan of $2,500 and over. Apply today and get ready for the new school year. Make back to school easy with a Quartz Ready Cash loan. Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are. Offer ends August 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Exciting news from AutoTrade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of AutoTrade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, AutoTrade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, there's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by AutoTrade every last Thursday. At AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na na
This is our 24th Global View on Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica. I'm Sheridan Gregoire, Mr. G. With me is my co-host, Justice Dr. Irving Andre, prominent agronomist and environmental advocate Atherton Martin, Sister Nats, Tony Edwards, and prolific Dominican businessman Herbert Suki Winston. We will continue to discuss the essential ingredients for local business success in Dominica towards building a prosperous nation. So here are a few talking points or questions that I will put to my panelists. How important is the example of our leaders in the lives of our young people? What satisfaction do you derive from working to achieve your goals? Is there anyone who inspired you to achieve your goals? Should government assist local businesses to become successful? If the answer is yes, then how should they assist? Are our schools doing enough to nurture students? What are Dominica's prospects for the future? What are the essential ingredients for business success? Have these ingredients been eroded? Do our local entrepreneurs receive sufficient support from the government of Dominica? Is our education system doing enough to nurture productive, hard-working citizens? Is the government playing its part in teaching young people to become productive men and women in Dominica? What role must their parents play to ensure that their children depend on the sweat of their brow to be successful? And what lessons can be taught to the young men and women of today and tomorrow? We look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, prominent agronomist and environmental advocate Atherton Martin, Sister Nads, Tony Edwards, and prolific Dominican businessman Herbert Suki Winston to this topic, the essential ingredients for local business success in Dominica towards building a prosperous nation. Tune in Tuesday night for more on the Global View on Q, only on Q95, the big station, because you know it's true if you hear it on Q.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes, good morning. It's 9:41. Talk to me. Yes.
Matt, good morning again.
Yes.
Matt, you giving our weekend Dominica a pass this morning again?
No, we haven't dealt with Donald yet. We'll do that in a couple of minutes, Lucille. Okay, thank you very much. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nobody there. Nobody there. Thank you very much. So Lucille will deal with Dominic at the top of the hour. Okay. All right, let's get back to the telephone. So many phone calls here this time. Hello, talk to me. Good morning. Yes. Yeah. Morning. Hello. Your phone should be having some problems here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Try calling back. I'm trying to make contact with the Chief Election Officer. Give me a few minutes and I'll try to make contact with the Chief Election Officer. We'll do that in a little while. Okay. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Caller. Nobody there. I know a number of persons trying to get in touch with me. At the same time, we have to, of course, follow up on a number of issues. I tried to get in touch with the Chief Election Officer last week to deal with some issues. So we have the Chief Election Officer on the line with us there for a few minutes. Good morning to you, Miss Joseph. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm hanging in there one day at a time, one day at a time.
Right.
So many issues to deal with. You know it is already. So tell me what's on your mind this morning, Auntie?
Well, I just wanted to give listeners an update as to the numbers, the total numbers of approvals that we have to date, and also to give some information on the by-elections for the Roseau North constituency. And I will begin with the amendments that were made in the House of Assembly during the budget debate. And there were a few amendments that I want to point out to the listeners and to those of Roseau North, particularly that those who have not received their ID cards, or those who have not yet confirmed and are not eligible to receive their voter ID cards. And as you know, the voter ID cards are being distributed now. We have NO1, NO2, NO3, NO4, NO5, NO6, NO7, NO8, NO9, and NO10 being distributed at the Red Cross Confirmation Center and also at the Fonkole Community Center. And we started distributing the cards on last Monday, and we will end today. So those who have not collected the cards, please do so today. Otherwise, you will have to do so at the electoral office as of tomorrow morning. Now, for those of the Roseau North constituency who have not yet confirmed and do not have a voter ID card, you, according to the amendments that were made during the budget debate to the law, you are now required to present an ID when you go to vote on polling day. And that's for Dominican citizens. You must present a Dominican valid passport, a Dominican passport, a valid Dominican driver's license, and your birth certificate, or a valid Dominica Social Security card and your birth certificate, or a photo, passport size photo, which is certified as the true likeness of whatever your name is, done by the Justice of Peace or Commission of Oath or Notary Public, along with your birth certificate. So this is very important, and this will only apply during the confirmation period if an election is held. Okay? So because we have some persons with ID cards and some persons without ID cards. And this could create mass confusion at the polling station. So therefore, the law was amended and the requirements are now for polling day, every voter from the Rosenhof constituency. If you do not have your voter ID card, then you need to work with an ID, a valid ID. And that is what I have just mentioned to you. So those who have not yet collected their cards, please do so today at the Red Cross Center or the Fonkole Community Center. And as of tomorrow, you can do so at the electoral office. So it's very important for persons to collect the ID cards and to have their documents in place for polling day.
Let me just ask a question and answer. There's been some discrepancy. I just spoke to Danny Logie just about maybe 25 minutes ago. He did indicate that there is nothing to indicate as to what polling station you will be made to vote on the ID card. Can you clarify that, please?
No, we did not put a polling station on the ID card simply because people move often. So you, for example, you may be in Upper Goodwill and you decide you have moved. Let's say you're renting a house at Upper Goodwill and you now move to Fonkole. You see the issue that it will bring because you now be in another polling district and the law did not specifically specify having a polling district on the card. Okay? So if we look at the registrations of Electors Act, if we look in the schedule, we will see a copy of what the ID card looks like and what information had to be put onto the ID, the voter ID card.
So don't you think that will be a little confusing? Don't you think that people should know exactly what polling station they will be voting? How do you find that out? How do you find out? Where you going to vote?
Normally what is done, that the list, there's a list posted before polling day, right? And what we do, we divide the polling districts as to, which polling districts go to which stations. And we are used to voting, so everybody knows about that. So a list is posted outside of the polling district with those for that polling district. Okay? So normally there's the list outside of the polling districts that are.
But don't you find that will create some confusion there, though? I mean, if you have it on your ID card that this is the polling district you have to vote, it would make it easier. There'll be a lot of confusion with that process. Don't you think so? I'm just asking.
Matt, we are used to polling day. We are used to voting in Dominica. Okay? We had no ID cards and we found ourselves in the correct polling stations. So I don't see the issue with as I explained to you, we put in a polling district on the voter ID card. If a person moves within the constituency and if there's a change, you can imagine how often that cards would have to be reissued. Now, there is what people do not know, or probably they have not received that information. We cannot just reprint an ID card, a voter ID card for somebody. There's an application, there's a process that you have to go through, and there's a fee that has to be paid if you have to receive a new ID card. So if a person is moving between polling districts within a constituency, that is going to be very costly for you to replace your card every time you move. Let us say you're renting a house or you stay with a family here and then you decide to move out on your own and you go to another polling district. Within the same constituency, then your polling district number is going to change. So that's how often you would have to reprint a card, a voter ID card. So which does not really make much sense.
I'm seeing more information circulating there, Anthea, Ms. Joseph, that it's been revealed. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, that over 460 persons have been added to the voter list for the by-election in Roseau with some fake addresses, empty lots, and abandoned buildings to address this. How do you respond to that? Some persons are registering empty lots. Do you know about that?
Matt, I do not like to say that 400. I didn't like your statement that 400 persons.
I'm saying that it's reported out there that over 460 persons. I'm saying I can't confirm. I'm hearing that's what is going on.
Okay, Mark, let me explain to you. Persons applied for both confirmation and registration. So as soon there was a hype in Roseau North from the time that the parliamentary representative resigned and there was a vacancy and people knew or suspected that there was going to be a by-election in that constituency, there was a rush of persons going to the polling station for both confirmation and for registration. And you would understand why, because people in Dominica, they like to vote. They don't want to be left out on polling day. So there was a rush at the confirmation center for both registration and for confirmation. Okay? The last list the supplementary list that we posted was on the 1st of June, and that was for new registration, and that consisted of when we began in March 9th up to the last day in May. Okay? So that was the list that was published on June 1st. Between June 1st and now, there are lots of persons have applied for registration in the Roseau North constituency, and not just there, but throughout the island. Okay? And you cannot, the statement has been made is like as if names were just placed on the list.
No, I'm saying, but if the statement has been circulated there that persons are using fake addresses there and lots and abandoned buildings to confirm, won't that be a concern for you, Ms. Joseph?
Sir, at this time I cannot confirm that information. Okay, there are lots of rumors that go out, and I want to make a statement here that we received a letter with claiming that they were duplicates. We had a whole list of them that they were duplicates on the list. We went through the entire list, okay, and none of the names presented were duplicates. They were not duplicates. There are persons with the same names living in different polling districts. And we did our investigation, and we found that these names were not duplicates at all. So we got a letter from a political party, I will not mention on the air, and with a list attached saying that here are some duplicates that they had concerns about, and we went and we checked it, and none of them were duplicates. So I don't deal with rumors. When I receive names, we will pass it on to the registering officers, who will check and do the investigations, and they will get back to the office to say. Because first thing, when a person applies, and the registration officer who is in charge of the constituency, registration for that constituency, it is their obligation and their duty to investigate every application and then recommend for approval or denial. And then that's the time it gets to the office after the recommendation of the registering officer. Okay, so for the constituency. So when we receive, then we do our checks as well, and then we give approval. Now, if the registering officer has no concerns with or thinks that something should be approved, then we will go ahead and we will verify, except if somebody calls into the office and makes a report on a particular case that we can go and further investigate. Or by knowledge, you see a name and you know that address and that name does not line up, then it raises a red flag, so you can do something about it. But I cannot say and I cannot confirm to the public that the person is registered on fake address. Okay, until an investigation is done, and as we
Investigation by who? Who? Hold on, answer. Who will be conducting an investigation? Who will?
let me just read it. Let me just quote something, Matt, before I go there.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yes. Uh-huh.
Section 24(2) of the Registration of Electors Act. No objections shall be taken by the chief registering officer or a registering officer until after polling day.
After polling day?
After polling day. So, by right, no objection should be taken during. As soon as the writs are issued, no objection. The law does not give us permission to review any objections. Objections can be brought after polling day, and this must be done properly. There is a form, there's a format. So there is a form that specifies, okay, that which
But don't you let's be objective. Don't you find a trouble in there as it relates to the point you just made about no objection can be made after until after polling? I don't know. I'm a little confused here.
There's no conflict. I'm following the law strictly. I must follow the law. So therefore, the law states that no objections can be taken until, as soon as the writs are issued, until after polling day. So I must follow the instructions of the law. Now, a person must not just bring a name to me and say this name is on a fake address. They must file an objection in the correct set of forms as stipulated in the law. There must be a witness to witness that form, and it must go to the registering officer of the constituency. Okay? Who now will apply to me, or she will do her investigation, and she will apply if there's a case, then she will apply the objection to me, and then I will inform the parties of when the hearing would be for that particular case. Okay, that's the format of objection. Now, I want to just mention here that a name came into me during the week that person was registered on an address they didn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
and it was not a formal objection in the set of forms, but it was a verbal discussion. So I had investigations undertaken on that matter to find out if that was really true. And the gentleman came in and saying to me that this person registered on his address, the person doesn't live here. And they had the young man write a letter to the electoral office to say that he registered on the wrong address. Now, when I interviewed that young man, the young man was born at the address. He sleeps at the address. He visits the address, okay? And he sleeps somewhere else. Now, if we go to the law states that where you sleep, okay, so if a person sleeps in two different places, so I sleep in Canefield and I sleep in Jimmy, but my family home is in Canefield and I sleep in both places, I'm entitled to be registered in any of the two. Okay? But if I don't sleep in Canefield and I sleep in Jimmy, then I have a right to register where I sleep. But if a person sleeps in two areas, then they choose which area. And the law is direct on that point. When I interviewed the young man told me, like this week, I slept in the address.
So you don't have to be living there for like 3 months or more. No, you don't have to.
The guy said he visits there and that's his family home. He goes there. That's where he was born. He sleeps there occasionally. Okay, that's his home. He sleeps by another family member in another area. Now, and that person was brought, and the person was forced to write a letter to the electoral office to say that he registered. And I told the young man, there's no case, and you cannot write a letter to me. An objection has to be done officially by the person who is objecting to your name being on the list in that constituency. The person must file an objection in the set of forms, get a witness, and go through the correct procedure. Okay, so I want persons to know Nobody should force you to write a letter to the electoral office to state that you registered in the wrong place. If an objection to your name, let the person file an objection in the correct manner, and as soon as we receive it from the registering officer, investigations will be done in a formal manner.
If you're born there and you live in elsewhere, you don't have to transfer that vote? No?
Say that again, man.
I say if you're born in that community, for example, if I'm from Point Michelle, but I now live in Cane Fields, I can go back to Point Michelle. If I don't live in Point Michelle, I'm just using my name as example. So I'm now a resident in Cane Fields because I'm born in Point Michelle. I should go back there. Or I have to.
No, I didn't say that, Matt. If you're born in Point Michelle and you have moved to Cane Fields, and that's where you live, and you have no affiliation with, you don't sleep in Point Michelle, then the rightful place for your registration is in Cane Fields.
But if I sleep in Point Michelle, I have two homes. If I sleep in Point Michelle, I can register in Point Michelle.
Yes, you can, because if your family home is there, for example, we have cases where persons, they live in Roseau during the week, and they go up to the country on the weekends to their family home. That's their home. But they rent a home in Roseau for some reason, for ease, for employment. But they go to their home on weekends, or they go to their home once a month. They still live in a particular area in their family home, but they are renting a house in another place for ease, for employment. You slip into places. So the choice is yours. So if you want to register where you work because you sleep there, or where your family home is, then you have a choice. That's what the law states. But if you have moved totally from where you were born and you no longer sleep there, you have moved. You got married, you have moved, and your home.
So residency is based on where you sleep. That's what it is.
Right, where you sleep. So we have some peculiar cases in Dominica, and we will all agree. We have persons from the countryside, and they sleep in Roseau during the week, but they go up to the country every weekend to their homes. Okay? So can you deny the person from being registered where they were born at their home, in their home village? No, you can't, because they sleep there.
Give us an update answer before you go in terms of the confirmation list that we now have. Again, just repeat it as to where we are with the numbers.
Okay, for confirmation, we have a total of 22,041 total confirmation, and total registration to date 1,970. For approval, we have so far 20,452 approved for confirmation, and 1,727 approved for registration. So let me just repeat: total confirmation application 22,041, and total approved confirmation 20,452. Total applied registration 1,970, and total approved registration 1,727. Okay.
Any final comments before you go? Because there are many phone calls coming at this time.
Okay, so my final comment is that we are on the countdown to confirmation. Confirmation ends on October 15th, 2026, and we are encouraging persons to get confirmed before the 15th of October, 2026. ID cards are now being distributed as of today, Monday. MO1, MO2, MO3, and MO4 are being distributed at the electoral office, and that is Roseau Central. So we're asking voters in the MO1, MO2, MO3, and MO4 to visit the electoral office to collect your ID cards. And Roseau North, the distribution continues up to today at the Record Center and at the Fonkole Community Center.
All right. Well, Antek, Joseph, again, if you have any more questions, we'll call you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Boy, this is a lot of confusion there. I can tell you that. So your address is where you sleep. Oh my God. We're in for a lot of trouble here, boy. So I born in Point Michelle. I live in Caneville. If I go back to Point Michelle and I sleep there, it's your choice as to where. I thought residency is about living in one place, you know? You can go back and sleep, of course, so you go sleep by your mother. That's where you were born. You can still, I don't know. I really, visiting your family home and sleeping there does not constitute a domicile, huh? Things I don't know. Hello, talk to me, Dominica. We're in a lot of trouble.
Good morning.
Talk to me quickly, please.
How was your weekend?
Okay, yes.
Mr. Pelte,
Talk to me.
when you see the Bible tell you when people don't do, a lie is a thing that you have to have a proper day to hold it up and more and it
Mhm.
more and more will go. The truth is standing by itself alone, you don't need no company. And what I am seeing today is that God is confusing man. When you see people try to do things wrong, God will confuse you. He said that he uses the foolish things of this life to confound the wise, and he uses the weak things of this life to confound those who are strong. So God, Mr. Belton, you open your eyes. God is doing a lot of things, A lot of body getting those people that do certain things. God is not sleeping, he doesn't slumber, not sleep. And God is revealing himself. You see the rain and the wind and everything? God is speaking as God ministers with, and God is speaking. Things are happening. Just wait and you'll see what my God can do. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you too. 449-3095-96. And I'm very concerned. On the telephone, hello, good morning to you. Are you there? Yes? Uh-huh.
Yes, Matt. Yes, Matt. Good morning to you and your listeners.
Morning to you, morning, yes.
Right, Matt. I'm really laughing at the deliberation of the chief electoral officer. Matt, she's saying that where you sleep is your residence, where you can be registered as your resident. But she's still trying to tell us you can go up to the country on weekend. That is where and stay by where you're from, and that is where you register. Which one is it? You are in Goodry, you are in Dominica, you sleep by your girlfriend or your boyfriend most part of the week, and when you go to where you're from, you sleep again. I mean, what is she trying to tell us? I'm not getting it at all. Maybe you need to get her to come back again and clear the air properly. That is not clear. It's just not clear to me. I'm fighting with her deliberations, and I cannot understand it. You maybe should try and get her, because I'm sure a lot of more people and cannot understand that. And we have 20,000 people already registered, and how many thousand have their cards already? But is she comfortable? Is the chief electoral officer comfortable with the fact that our former electoral list had 74,000 people, and she's going to close it down in October or October 15th with only 20,000 people registered? Is she comfortable with that, Matt? I need that question answered, Matt. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much. The law can never speak of sleep, but domicile as quasi-domicile. I'm a little confused, more confused than anything else this morning after listening. Sleep? And that can, I don't know. Hello, talk to me. I may be wrong, but
Yes, morning, Matt.
something not right. Yes?
Morning. I think that really confused. She's confusing her own self and she's confusing Dominicans. Because what I say is, number one, how can you have a voter's card, an ID card to vote, and you don't have your place of voting number on it? You're supposed to. That will lead you better. Give you a better way to get to know where you voted. And I have to go every action where I voting. That doesn't make no sense. And number two, she talk about she cannot investigate until after the election takes place. Then you just investigate a person. You just investigate a person and say where the person sleep and where the person don't sleep and where the person sleep. You find it making sense? These people are crooked, my brother, and we have to take to the we have to stop that shit. If there is wrongdoing in that by election are going on, then we should have to stop it. Because enough is enough in that country, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, it's 10:13. Let's
I am listening to the chief elections officer. I saw yesterday with my own two eyes some voter ID card someone had received. And it is scary, Matt. First of all, the ID card is not complete. If the objective of the ID card is to identify the elector, it's fine. But if it's also to prevent multiple voting by that elector, Matt, the ID card does not have an address. The ID card does not have a constituency. So somebody taking that ID card and they go into their, well, as the chief elections officer said, your residence is based on where you sleep. And she said it. They work in Roseau, but they live, let's say, in Canefield. Okay? You must give them at least a constituency so they cannot vote both in Canefield and in Ranford. This card does not stop you from doing that. This card does not give you an address. It must do something to prevent multiple voting. This card does not do that. Okay? And so you have people who can now register both in Ranford and in Roseau, in Canefield. In that example I'm giving. You cannot be giving people loopholes. God will know the issue of multiple voting. They call it dead people voting, people giving people names to vote. You can vote in multiple constituencies in that situation. You must put at least a constituency. So a person voting, let's say the card says your constituency is Grand Fork, you cannot take that card and go down to Roseau to vote or to Canefield to vote. It has to stop you from doing that. When you can give somebody, a simple driver's license, is the card, it should given to you the moment you just come, you pay your annual fee, you get your card printed. It has all that information on it. It gives your address on it. What is so hard? They're putting place of birth Dominica and nationality Dominica. Is that necessary? If the card is a Dominica voter ID card, the flag is on it. It doesn't have to say the place of birth Dominica. It's already assumed and understood. So I'm just saying, chief elections officer, your work is not up to par at all. You really have to go back to the drawing board with that thing, because too many, and I put in quote unquote smart people, were behind putting that electoral reform in place and on an electoral commission, and they cannot see basic things like that. Man, I'm just very, very, very concerned that this by-election and the upcoming general election, we will have the same problems, and we have spent so much money and time in that electoral reform process, and it is just not up to par. It is still lacking. We have a lot of work to do.
A
and more money
lot
to spend.
is confusing. It's confusing. I will admit that. Somebody say, I can understand the confusion. If we don't stop, dust off our shouts and start over again, we'll have ourselves to blame. So if you are from Grand Bay, then you was renting in Goodwill, and now you move to Thibault, you can vote in Goodwill. Look a mess. Now this election system is as atrocious as the police force somebody's indicating here. So you're from Point Michelle, living in Mao, and visit Point Michelle only for Christmas or for Easter, and you can register in Point Michelle? I don't know. Hello. From my understanding is like if you register, if you live there for a little while, like 6 months or so, you can register there, but to be moving up and down there and you're not sure where your registration. 4493095. Hey, hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, sir. Morning, yeah.
Yeah, Matt, a question. Is there a residency requirement to vote in Dominica?
I think so. I may be wrong, but I think so.
No, but if there's not a residency requirement, that's confusion. That is to accommodate the foreign voters. Well, not why I call them foreign, but the those in the diaspora. Because you can't tell me that all other countries, you have a residency requirement. You register where you live and you vote where you live. So to tell me that you live in two places, that means you can vote in two places. That's what it says in it. And which it doesn't make sense. If there's a residency requirement, you have free residencies. You can vote in all three places. Can you sleep in all three places and can vote in all three places? Something that's not there.
Something. I agree with you. Something is confusing about that. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Matt, morning. How are you?
Morning to you. Morning. Yeah.
Matt, it was this lady. I don't know what to say. I'm not in Roseau, nothing, but I telling you, they have to be careful in Roseau. No, they have to put down their boots because that lady just saying things, and that is not what that happened. She just saying like if you sleep somewhere, you can vote there, and it's not there you live in. That is pure bullshit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 4493095 96 and 97. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Matt, good morning.
Morning to you. Morning.
Matt, next time you bring that lady on the radio, she needs to take questions from the citizens. That lady, their mom was saying, and you're trying to clarify things. Matt, that lady needs to answer us Dominicans. We have questions. Because what she said there, it just tells you can vote in more than one place. Like the other lady said, the constituency is important. That is what's the deciding factor in where you vote and where you don't vote. And I called you last week.
Yes.
I tell you, I had tenants. They are no longer there, but they are on the voters list. Now, the writ hasn't been written for the general election, yet still, every time I call it the electoral office about this situation, they're telling me it's the person who is registered in the place that have to change their address and take out their name. But this is my property. And those people not supposed to be registered there because they are no longer there for more than 12 years. So that person registered there, they could vote there, and wherever they live in now, they can vote too. That is a mess. Now, do they have a computerized system where they can go and see when that person go and register or come to vote or come to confirm, they can pull up that person and realize, oh, so you're coming to register in Tibo now, but you registered in Roseau, and give them the address. They are currently registered, so that can be taken care of. This is criminal,
It's a lot of confusion there. A lot of confusion.
That is why you need to bring that lady to answer our questions, Matt. Stop. Just
yeah. Well, I'm gonna try. That's all I can do. I'm gonna try because so many people have different questions. Maybe we should bring the chief election officer and, of course, the chairman. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Morning to you. Morning. Yes.
How are you, my man?
I'm here.
That is a problem. So, Matt, if you sleep 3 different places, Matt, you can vote to that 3 different constituencies. That is what the lady telling you. If you have a friend, Matt, in Kenfield, you sleep there for a week. You have a friend in Maho, you sleep there for 3 days. And you're from Kolibisi, Matt, you can vote that 3 places, Matt. Huh? With a ID that not giving you an address. That is what you say, Matt. I smell that bomb on your.
Oh, again, more clarification is needed. Eh? I will confess a lot more clarification is needed there because From what I pick up, if you live there but you have not transferred your vote, you can still register in that area. But you moved out from there for many years. It has to do with transfer. If the person don't choose to transfer, oh boy. On the telephone, good morning. Yes. I actually try to deal with the Dominic issue, but we're having so many phone calls on this one. The hello, talk to me, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm here, so go ahead, please.
I said the opposition parties need to open their eyes to see what happening because that government have a power going and fix that election again. You cannot be telling me you speak in Mar or you speak in Kingsfield and you can go Kingsfield and vote. That is nonsense.
But your telephone is giving some issues there. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes, it's 10:24. Talk to me, yes. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. You hear me?
I'm hearing you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, man. What I learned from what I yesterday said there, I'm afraid it's almost something you can register more than one place. So it's just like the lady said a while ago, whether they have a system in place that they can put up your name and see if you register anywhere else. Because if I sleep in town, I can register in town. Then I have my residential in another area, like to say in country. I can also register there. So really and truly, you need more explanation because it's confusing. I can tell you that. And it's something like a thing I can have a lot of rules.
Again, I just think on the ID card should basically tell you, where you should vote. Just go in and look on a paper, try to tell you where you should vote. I think that's a little more confusing there. Yes, we have been doing that before, but we have to move away. We are trying to make this situation as simplified as possible. So please, the ID card that you receive should tell you specifically where you should vote. And I think there's a lot of confusion going on there. Hello, talk to me. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Matt Peltier, good morning.
Morning to you, sir. How are you doing? Yes.
Matt, I'm doing very well. I don't know, for some reason, when I listen to some of our professionals, some of our policymakers tell us things, some reason it's either the information that they give is not thorough, it's not clear, and I do not want to believe that it is deliberate in that they want to deliberately mislead the public. A few questions that I would have for Ms. Joseph, and Matt, you can take those down, so when you speak to her next time, ask her.
Mm-hmm.
Is the voter ID number a unique number to the name only, or to the name and the constituency or the polling district? I need to know that. But here is something that has wider implications that the public need to understand. For you to reconfirm that, you need to have somebody within your polling district to identify you. Isn't that what we were told? Isn't that what the law says?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it means that from the electoral office's perspective, your polling district is sacrosanct. So you cannot, even if you know enough, you cannot get somebody from the Fokole voting district to identify you in goodwill. You have to get somebody in goodwill. Now, if that is absolutely necessary, because you can't get anybody to identify you, even if it's the same constituency, then why would the chief elections officer make the statement that she made? That if you move, and she was specific, if you move from Goodwill to Fokole, you should be able to vote in Fokole. Does that mean that if you move from Goodwill to Newton, you should be able to vote in Newton? What does that really mean, Ms. Joseph? Because my understanding is that if you are registered in a polling district, that is where you vote. It doesn't matter if you left Goodwill and you went to live in Jubic. You have to come back to Goodwill to vote. That's what has existed. I don't understand why you want to change the number. There must be another sinister reason why you don't want to put a number on there. Because in any case, Matt, your name is going to appear on a list. The list your name appears on must be the list where you're going to vote. At what stage do you go to electoral office and say, well, I no longer live in Goodwill, I live in Fonkole? Isn't that a transfer? If you do a transfer, then you have to have a new card. You must have a new card. And if you do a transfer, then the owner system need to pay for your new card. The excuses that were given and the reasoning, something is not right, Matt. Something is not right because the law says your name has to be on a list in a polling district. That's where you vote, right, Matt?
Yep.
So you cannot change your polling district 2 weeks before the election because you move from one polling district to the next. You have to go back to that polling district to vote, right? Now, if that is so, it is of necessity that where you vote be on your card. And please explain to me whether there is a number by the name of the voter. Is that unique to the name or to the name and the district? Because if it's just the name, it means that you can take your card and go and vote in Castle Bruce.
True.
But if it's the name and the district, it means that you cannot vote in Castle Bruce. You have to vote where you were registered to vote. So this explanation doesn't hold water, makes no sense. There must be a sinister reason for it. Now, while I'm at that, one of the things that maybe Miss Joseph, I mean, she's a lady. Maybe she should recommend that they give a public relations person, because somehow when she speaks and she's the authority, mind you, when she comes across, she doesn't come across like we think she's come across. So when the question was asked by yourself, always there is an intention for defense. I would suggest to Ms. Joseph, and I hope she's listening, that when these questions are posed to you, your job really and truly is not to defend it. Your job is to state what the process is, what the law is, and what the implications of the process and the law. Because you just don't know what people are doing. You cannot vouch for something that you don't know. You cannot do that, because except you know. If you are the person in charge, your job is to follow the procedure, the process, to tell people what it is. And if somebody tells you, well, how is it that John Black is registered on an address that is the cemetery, then you have to say, well, so if that is possible, the law says, because I know the law says so, the law says that when that is reported, the chief elections officer is responsible to investigate it for new registration. And that's what she needs to tell us. That, okay, if that is so, please send me the information. Then we will provide some means to investigate. Why is it that John Black is registered on 60 whatever street that does not exist? Why is it that John Black and 10 other people are registered in one house that only have 2 bedrooms? Why? They have just registered. They are not on the list like that. They have just registered. And there is a difference. Matt, the Labour Party tried to make the confirmation process something that would favor them. The Registration by Electors Act for new registrants insists that you can only register where you are living, right? And you have to be living for continuous months before that.
Mm-hmm.
The confirmation process says is where you voted the last time you have to reconfirm, right? Already that's some shenanigans that's going on there. Let's put that aside and say that's how it's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be like that, every new registrant that you have, it must be verifiable, Matt, that they're living in a dwelling house in a particular street and so on. And you can verify that.
Because I understand, Pastor Rodney, because all you have to do is follow up and put your investigating officers there. How can somebody register on an empty lot? I just don't understand.
That's right. But she's not answering that. And I'm saying what she needs to do. She needs to say, well, here is what the law says. You must be registered at an address where you are living for 3 continuous months. So if Jack Brown comes to complain that there is a name on the registration, the new registration list, that person registered in my house, and that person will live in my house. The duty of the chief elections officer is to investigate that and clear that up. Because what would have happened, if I understand the law rightly, that person would have committed a crime because they are providing false information to the Electoral Commission. And on that note, I want to ask everybody, I think I've asked that several times in my program before, but now, even more than before, everyone needs to be vigilant because the people who break the law need to be made to pay for it, right? Get the information, take it to your candidate, ensure that you have the information correct, verify the information, report it to the chief elections officer who's supposed to investigate and change it. And if that does not happen, then take the matter to court. Let somebody pay for it. Because this thing, we cannot have gone through all those years to get what now we don't fully accept. And then while you pass the law for something we don't fully accept, you yourself, the incumbent, now turns around and violate the same law that you put into existence. Dominicans must not accept it. And personally, as a person, I will not accept it now. And I wanted to share that because what I'm hearing there is very, very disturbing. It means that somebody's out to win at the expense of doing things crookedly. And we must not allow that to happen. Everybody, I'm glad that the Roseau North constituency by-election is happening before because it now gives us something to focus on, right? That we can look at it and then expand that to the rest of the country because it's my belief that the general election will be soon after the Roseau North election, okay? And especially if the Labour Party candidate loses the election, the general election is going to be soon after the Roseau North election. That's my belief. I'm not God. That's not cast in stone. But what I'm saying that for is that all of us need to be vigilant. We need to watch this list, both the new registrants and the reconfirmed people, for us to know who they are, where they're living, and we need to make a case about it.
Thank you. As I was indicating there to Ms. Joseph, it's been said, unconfirmed, that approximately 460 persons have been added to the voters' list for the by-election in Roseau North using fake addresses, empty lots and abandoned buildings as address. Most of them use fake professions and claimed to be unemployed, while some Haitians using Dominican names so they can vote. Being told a special meeting has been held with legal minds for the past few hours, hoping to deal with the electoral fraud in Dominican's election. The public has been asked to be vigilant because it doesn't look well in these trying times. We'll have to deal with Dominic at the opening half an hour there to 1 o'clock, and then we'll continue with the leader of the United Workers' Party at the 1:30 hour. Hello, talk to me, yes? Dominic at 1 o'clock. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Good day.
I had the opportunity to pick up the voter's ID card.
Okay, what's on there?
And and for me, what that does, it legitimizes roving. That's what it does. Because, Mark, before what used to happen. You're registered to vote, you live in anywhere. But on polling day, where you have to go to vote.
True.
So you find yourself there. So even if you're working in Roseau, the law gives you the day to find yourself wherever you're supposed to vote. To create a card after we've done all that, that does not specify your polling district or even have your address, it encourages roving. It encourages roving. I hope you understand me,
Yeah, I'm following you, of course.
Because you can take that card, because it doesn't have an address, it doesn't have a district, and you can go somewhere else to see somebody with the same name or somebody who's on the list and not there with the same name. You know what I mean? There's a number of things you can do, so that card should never have been made without a district. The caution here about you changing your rentals or your place of people hardly change their voting district. Because I am registered in Roseau North. Okay? I have not been living in Roseau North for over 30 years. I went to confirm, and lo and behold, they confirmed me on the same Roseau North address. So that is a mess, man. That is a mess, and it must be cleaned up. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Again, I think there's a lot of confusion there that has to be, cleaned up, as this caller just suggested there. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Morning, Matt.
Morning to you.
Oh, Matt. Matt, I want to make an observation. Matt, trust me, Matt, I don't want to move. I just came from Canada and America. I want to say something about the visa in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about the thing. On a voter ID card, you cannot capture everything. Matt, the most important thing people should be talking about was the fingerprint, which is the most positive form of identification. A voter ID card is a card like a bank card. You have to put in your wallet. You cannot capture everything. And we have to be thankful that Dominica, we have no voter card and they're just testing it for the first time. You cannot capture everything. The salient point, and they must have made reference to the other countries and see how it is. You have your name, your date of birth, maybe your address. It might have your you have an ID card, you should be happy. Another thing people should be talking about is, Mark, in Canada.
You don't think that in the various countries that you spoke about that they can identify as to where they will be voting? Don't you think so? In a district?
Well, yes. Maybe your polling station. So maybe that's an improvement they have to do.
Okay.
But you have the card in your hand. You are customer voting. I know I have to vote. When I go to Portsmouth to vote, sometimes they change it from government school to the non-school. I just go and find out. I just take a 5 minutes walk to the 5 polling station on the 10, and I see where my name is. People making a hue and cry for everything. You say record, they're going to try to start to savage me and everything. I just
I'm telling you, it would make it much easier, Mr. Irish. I can identify you. If you had it in your hands, you don't have to be looking all about when you go to Portsmouth to know where you have to go vote. Would you agree with me?
I agree with you. I agree with you in that case. But they can say, well, you see, like my friend Mr. Senbalcon, and he commend the police for the good job.
Yeah.
And then if they're doing something bad, you condemn. He commend them.
Okay.
And then you condemn. But everything is a negative. But let me tell you, one of the things that Dominica is really serious about crime, and this is people, you're supposed to have, everybody who's supposed to have a number. These are the things people should be talking about, and only negative. Like yesterday, when I came from the airport, a tourist on the vehicle with me, and the lady, when she reached in the Penrice area, she said, "Oh my goodness, this is Nature Island, and why all these derelict vehicles around?" I had to do a little damage control because these are the things people must talk about the environment. Matt, let me just give people a quick advice on the visa when you go to America. Matt, when you go to America now, they have to be very careful because when they start paying their money, they lose their money. When you go to the U.S. Embassy and you tell them, "Yes, how long you'll be there?" "Okay, I'll be there for 2 weeks." They put their thing in their system, and I deliberately ask them, "How long did you give me?" The gentleman said, "You have to go on your I-94 and find out." They don't tell you. Now, I left the U.S. after 2 weeks and went to Canada. When I go online and I check. I see they gave me a certain date. Of course, I left America before the date. They gave me about 4 weeks. So I was there for 2 weeks. Now they don't tell you. Coming back again from Canada yesterday, you have to clear when the immigration for US clear you in Canada right away. So when you reach Miami, you just hop up and walk in a hotel. And I asked the man again deliberately, so how much time? He told me, you go online, another man, you go online and find out. That's not for me to tell you. When I left and I arrived in Dominica last night, I go online. I see they give me another month. Now, if somebody go to America and you don't check your stuff and your thing expire and you stay there, it could be 1 day or 1 hour. Mr. Trump is going to tell you this, to forfeit your $15,000.
You're so right about that, you know? You're so right. But that's a different issue there. When you go to America these days, the immigration officer don't even tell you how much time to give you, because if you miss it by a day, that's it. Cop will smoke your pipe. Let's continue with the discussion here. It's just about 10:44. Some good advice though there, Mr. Irish, as it relates to the traveling to the Americans. You have to visit a specific website to find out how much time they give you at the immigration officer give you to stay, you know, because you might be sort of laid back, but you always have to check. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes? Uh-huh.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you. How are you doing this morning? How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. You're a little confused with the election processes this morning?
I'm never confused. Nobody confuses I and I. But what I was trying to get you earlier on, but I see Pastor Rodney, some of the things what Pastor Rodney said to do with the list of electors for the district, we draw it up to you because I see what the election officers say there about why they not put in the your polling station number on it. Yeah, that reason there is not holding any water. She made a big blunder there. But Pastor Rodney has efficiently explained it. No, Mr. Irish, I am you say people will call you up to savage you. I am not calling you to savage you, Mr. Irish. But I find, Mr. Irish, don't you find that a person's address and the polling station is something that is valid to be on a card, while they cannot put 10 million things on a card? A person's address and the polling station is very valid, Mr. Irish. I don't think you think that through. So to say that people want to complain about everything, I don't think you have it right, Mr. Irish, because we have a right to make observations about areas where we find needs correction. And it's not a crime to do that, my friend, Mr. Irish. All that is healthy discussion. We listen and we learn and we amend and we correct, Mr. Irish. Okay, Mr. Irish, have a nice day, my friend, Mr. Irish.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. In the morning, more telephone calls. It's just about what 13 minutes before the 11 o'clock hour. Are you there, caller? Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, I am, Matt. Yes,
You're back.
I am.
You're back. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Matt, like a heart attack. Matt, I saw Bajan's ID card in 2011, and I saw Antigen's ID card because I was looking at C.O. Williams, who did the walls in Point Michelle, Matt, and they have the polling station, your picture, your fingerprint, and some other thing, Matt. Okay, but I didn't expect the brown noser to bid down what is happening now. I didn't expect that. It's the brown noser.
You have to go check your phone. Something is wrong. Sorry about that. It's just about 10:48. Hello, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, good morning, Matt. I say I'm not putting myself in that, but you see that tangled web that is being weaved right about now. It's time for us to get a way to untangle that web. That web we weave in there. But it's just a melee comment, a caution, and I think it's Dominican. We just doing talking. Should I stop talking? My Dominican should really come out and matter. Put down on demand for complete re-registration. In America, when you have your voters ID card, doesn't matter what it is, the people know everything is on the card. Where you voting, how you voting, what you voting for, who you voting for, how you doing it. They know. But here, what they have here is a margin. Compared to what, I thought that man wanted you to know he was an American candidate, so he come there, blah, blah, like always as usual. So, it's time for us to put our foot down and demand complete re-registration. Stand up for it, Dominicans. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Have a blessed day too. Have a blessed day too. It's 11 to the hour, 11 o'clock of 11.
Matt, so what happens if she live in Kenfield for the entire week and then go up to Belmania on the weekend where she was born? Is she going to register in two places and vote in one place? Because she can go up in Belmania and vote and still come down in Kenfield where she lives during the week and vote. That is what we're trying to prevent. Yeah, that is what we're trying to prevent. So, Matt, this is just causing a big mess and it should stop. I believe an injunction should be placed on any elections taking place in Dominica under that tainted, old, outdated electoral list, Matt. This is very unfair to the Dominican citizens, Matt, to vote in a mess like that. Matt, it's unfair.
Matt, ask her for me if I'm sleeping in both areas. Can I vote in both areas? Because based on what she's saying based on where you're sleeping. So if I'm sleeping in Kingfield and I'm sleeping in Roseau or anywhere else, can I vote in these two constituencies? Just want to find out. Because it's kind of contradicting.
Well, she's not there, so maybe next time, okay? 449-309-5969. So why should be the list perused there? Then when you have an objection, if you can't stop and you can't stop the person from voting, you have to wait until the election is over? That's craziness. Good morning. I'm tired of hearing people complain about the electoral processes that are corrupted and fraudulent. It is high time that people go to the road of the electoral office and demonstrate. Go to their personal home. People stop talking. I know someone who lives in Kenfield for about 30 years, and he's reconfirmed in Roseau South. We need civil unrest, somebody suggested there. For 449-3095, more telephone calls are coming in here. This is the hot seat. Talk to me, yes? Call up.
Yes, my brother. What's up?
All right, my brother. Mm-hmm.
Matt, I think you'll have to try to get that lady again because me as a little average man, I've been confused. You see, there's a thing this series is where you live in and those things or you register in. So if I in Virgin, it's Virgin, then I customer voting. So if I start sleeping in Grand Bay, I can go and do something in Grand Bay too because I sleeping in Grand Bay. You see, Dominicans again have been warning you all. There is no more politics in Dominica. It's politics. You understand? When you go in first communion and you go to confirm, they never tell you to go and reconfirm or reconfirm in first communion. So that's what we drink.
The Prime Minister said that he's going to put you all on the new level, the resilient people on the new level. The country is to free. Go to hell. Where no you getting my money from? No, this is the same money we have doing the same thing. Where is Mr. Byron? Where is Mr. Byron? So much money. You know, and I mean selective men, the A and the B and their social degree. Like one minister said, they take their tail and put it in their back. You understand? I'm not saying anything. Just for 2 grains of tablet, man. Come on, Dominicans, man. Matt alone cannot do it. 295 is exposing it over the years. And you are not doing anything. And just taking the new level and changing everything of every institution. Matt, if you have that clipping, I don't know if they'll charge you or if you don't want to play it, but you must play it so the Dominicans will follow it. Thanks God for Mr. Weeks. You understand what I mean? And it's on Facebook now, Dominicans, rise up. This election is the last election in closing. This election is the last election in Dominica. And if you don't rise up,
All right, caller. Thank you very much. On the telephone, it's just about 6 minutes before the above 11 o'clock. Hello, yes. Talk to me.
Yes, Martin, good morning.
Morning to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. I trying to understand if I'm living in vehicles for over 20, 40 years and they need a certain amount of vote in Wesley for the Labour representative. I can just get up tomorrow morning, seeing that I have a woman or a girlfriend or some family, and I normally go and spend a day or two and I sleep. I sleep is the word the lady used in Wesley. I can just get up and go and register in Wesley.
I get in your drift. That's a confusion. Yes.
Well. So that is just to facilitate the Labour Party, as far as I understand in it. If that's really the case. Well, have a good one, Martin.
Have a good one too. We don't have too much time. Not too much time, huh? We just have about 4 minutes, and we'll talk on the block at 1 o'clock. Hello, yes. Yes.
Hi. Good morning, Matt. How you doing?
How you doing? Yes.
Okay, man. Let me tell you. I wish you had the delay system like how calling stations up here have, man. When people make such erroneous, uneducated statements. This guy who came on who called trying to boast how he went to Canada and he went to America. That's what we're talking about. An airport and what this Gen I-90 is for or whatever. That's not what we're talking about. The topic is about the voter ID problem in Dominica. You're talking about fingerprint and kind of nonsense. You were a policeman. How uneducated these kind of people who were running the force before. That's why the police force is so backward in 1940s attitudes. I am very, very surprised at the level of education this guy Irish tried to call on our radio station and always spewing such uneducated, nonsensical attitudes. Be more educated. And I mean, I wish you were able to stop him and say, listen, the issue is we have tangible evidence. Let him comment on that. Don't talk about Canada and America. Comment on the tangible evidence before us in this present time on the sentence about the Roosevelt constituency, 400 and something. Why didn't he address that as an ex-police? What is the police doing about it? Assisting or collaborating with the electoral? I'm saying when somebody make a report, according to Pastor Roddy, these people should be arrested and brought before the court.
All right, caller, we've got to go on that point though. 449-3095. Thank you. Let's join 1 o'clock. We'll talk on the block. Thank you very much.
This is our 24th Global View on Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica. I'm Sheridan Gregoire, Mr. G. With me is my co-host, Justice Dr. Irving Andre, prominent agronomist and environmental advocate Atherton Martin, Sister Nats, Tony Edwards, and prolific Dominican businessman Herbert Suki Winston. We will continue to discuss the essential ingredients for local business success in Dominica towards building a prosperous nation. So here are a few talking points or questions that I will put to my